Hi everyone, welcome to YogaBeamz. I'm Naomi and today we are going on an adventure and it's all about Daniel and the lion's den. Let's sit down. First of all, you're going to see if you can copy what I do. Now don't worry if you can't do it exactly the same as me, that doesn't matter, we're just learning. So we're going to sit with our legs crossed and we're going to have a happy back. That's where we sit up nice and tall. Let me show you from the side. This is a sad back. That's where everything inside is squashed and it's not very happy. And we can't breathe very deeply when we're like this. And this is a happy back. Now when we've got a happy back, everything inside has got lots of room and our lungs can grow really big and strong and we can breathe lots of healthy oxygen into our lungs. Now we're going to begin by saying a positive affirmation. So I'll say it first and then you repeat it after me. I am kind. I am strong. I am clever. I am confident. I am amazing. Well done. I love our positive affirmations. They make you feel good inside. Now I've brought my singing bowl with me today. Let's listen to the sound of the singing bowl. This has come all the way from India and it sings. Listen carefully. What a lovely sound. Let's pop the singing bowl over here. Are we ready for our adventure? Let me tell you, a long time ago in Babylon, there lived a king. His name was Darius. He lived in a beautiful palace. It was huge. He had lots of people to help him. One of the men that helped him, his name was Daniel. Darius was sat in his throne. It was a huge throne. He sat in his throne talking to all his men. Daniel was in charge of the men, but the men didn't like this. They stomped their feet. We don't like Daniel being in charge of us. They all sat round a table. They decided to make a plan. This plan was to get rid of Daniel. That was terrible. Daniel was a really nice, kind man. Oh dear. The wicked man came up with a plan. They ran to Darius. Darius, we've got a plan. Darius was a bit unsure, but they persuaded him in his palace. I know, Darius. We've got a really good plan. We want you to make a new law called a decree that means that no one can worship anyone apart from you for 30 days. The men sat in their chair. They were giggling with each other. Yay! We're going to make sure that Daniel isn't in charge of us anymore. He won't be our leader. He's going to keep praying. He's going to end up in the lion's den. They jumped up and down. Oh dear, this was not very good at all. They had tricked King Darius. One night, the stars were shining really bright. The wicked men were looking out. They wanted to trap Daniel. The moon was shining brightly. Sometimes the moon leaned this way, and sometimes the moon leaned that way. They knew that Daniel said his prayers 3 times a day. They just waited to catch him saying his prayers. That night, they crept up to Daniel's house and they saw him on the balcony. He was saying his prayers. That's it, said the men. We've done it, come on. They ran and 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 they ran to the palace. They rushed in. King Darius, you'll never guess what happened. King Darius was sat at his table. What's the matter? What's happened? We've seen Daniel. He's been praying. He's broken the law. He needs to go into the lion's den. Oh no. King Darius realized what he had done. He held his head down. He was really sad, but there was nothing he could do. The men were so glad. They were wicked men. They tied Daniel's hands behind his back and they marched him down towards the lion's den. Oh no, Darius couldn't stop them. They marched past trees, some of them with big branches and tiny branches, some of them with huge branches. There were olive trees everywhere. Then they had to go across a great big plank. It was a little bit rickety. They marched across the plank towards the lion's den. Then they had to go over the bridge. It was a huge bridge. Come on, Daniel, keep up. Daniel was getting a bit tired. It was difficult walking with his hands behind his back. Then they reached the cave. It was a really big, dark cave. This is it. We're here. Daniel's going in the lion's den. He won't be able to be in charge of us anymore. The wicked men, they held onto the rock. See if you can have one leg bent and one leg straight. They started to push the rock out of the way. Push! It was really heavy. They had to get more men to help. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Push! Push! That's it. The rock came away. They got Daniel and they pushed him into the cave. Daniel nearly fell over. Oh dear. Meanwhile, King Darius was back in the palace. He was feeling really sad. I wish I hadn't made that law. I can't believe it. Poor Daniel's in the lion's den and there's nothing I can do about it. He sat in his throne and wondered what to do. Meanwhile, all the wicked men came running back to the palace. Yay! Daniel's in the lion's den. Come on, let's have a great big feast. They got lots and lots of food out. They decided to celebrate. Can you see if you can sit with really big legs? They picked up lots of fish and they put it on the table. They picked up lots of olives and they put them on the table. They just kept getting lots and lots of food and putting it all on the table. Come on, men, we're going to have a feast. We won't see Daniel ever again. The table was piled high with food. The men were going to eat it all. Are you ready? Stretch up as high as you can. The men leaned forward and they gobbled up the food. Darius just looked. That's not for me. I'm not celebrating. He went back to his room and he sat in his chair. He prayed to God, please God, please save Daniel. He decided not to eat. He was going to fast. He needed God's help. Meanwhile, back in the cave, Daniel was feeling a little bit worried. Oh my goodness, I can hear the lions in the distance. I'm going to do my breathing to help me calm down. Put your hands on your tummy, have a happy back and close your eyes. Breathe in and out through your nose and let the air get right down to your belly button. Daniel did his breathing to help him feel calm. Breathing in and breathing out. And he did lots and lots of praying to Heavenly Father. Heavenly Father, please help me. Please don't let the lions bite me. He prayed to God for a long time. Then in the distance, he heard the lions. The lions were huge. Can you sit like this? A great big lion's mane. They had great big claws and really sharp teeth. He heard them. They did a really big roar. Breathe in through your nose. Stick your tongue out and go. Do it again, do it again. There were some lions that were a little bit smaller and they couldn't roar like the big lions. They roared like this. Breathe in. And again. The lions started to come towards Daniel. Stomp, 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 stomp. They got right next to Daniel. The lions did a really big roar. The little lions did a roar. But then all of a sudden, something happened. Daniel was still praying to God and the animals, it was like instead of being big, fierce lions, they changed into like pussycats. Lift your back up like this and down, and they started to purr. Purr, purr, purr. Some of them had a really big stretch like this. Oh, can you stretch like that? And then some of them had a stretch like this. And some of them even started wiggling and waggling their tails. What is this all about? Purr, purr, purr. And then they curled up in a ball next to Daniel, keeping him nice and warm, and they fell asleep. Wow! God had answered Daniel's prayers. The lions were like big pussycats. Wow. Now, back at the palace, Darius woke up with a yawn and a stretch. Do it again, do it again. King Darius hadn't had much sleep. He had been worrying, praying and fasting all night. He quickly got himself ready. He went to the palace door and opened it wide. And then he closed it behind him. He ran and ran and ran down to the lion's den. He got to the door, the great big rock in front of the lion's den. He started to push it all by himself. Push, push, push. He was shouting, Daniel, Daniel, has your God saved you? Do you live? He didn't hear anything. He pushed it again. I've got to get this rock out of the way. He pushed and pushed. Daniel, Daniel, has your God saved you? Do you live? He stopped, listened. The rock moved. He heard Daniel. I live, Darius. My God has saved me. Daniel started climbing out of the cave. Wow. Daniel was alive. His prayers had been answered. God had saved him. He got out of the cave. He gave King Darius a hug. Darius said, please forgive me, Daniel. Please forgive me. Of course I'll forgive you, Daniel said. Then they went back to the palace, and Darius and Daniel sat at the table, and King Darius made a new law. The new law, the new decree was that everyone would give respect and reverence to the God of Israel. Wow. The wicked men didn't bother Daniel anymore, and God had answered Daniel's prayers. After that, everyone was ready for a really big rest. Well done, everyone. Lie down on your back. See if you can breathe in and out through your nose and get the air right down to your tummy. When we're breathing in and out through our nose nice and slowly, it makes us feel calm and relaxed. And sometimes if you're struggling to go to sleep, or if you're feeling worried, breathing like this really helps you. Breathe in and out through your nose, getting it right down to your tummy. And you can sit down and do your breathing like Daniel did. You can stand up, you can lie down. Breathe in and out through your nose, nice and slowly. Gently close your eyes just for a few minutes. And then we slowly sit up, ready to finish our class. Well done, everyone. Let's finish by saying our positive affirmation. I'll say it first, and then you can repeat it after me. I am happy. I am kind. I am clever. I am strong. I am calm and relaxed. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to click subscribe and like, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.